Imagine this. It's a quiet Tuesday evening, the kind where the world outside your window feels a million miles away. You're curled up on your couch, sipping tea, finally unwinding after a day that dragged on forever. Your phone buzzes. It's Dad. You smile, because calls from him always feel like a warm hug from across the miles. You pick up, chat about the little things, the weather, your latest work win, how his garden's blooming like never before. He sounds tired, but that's normal these days. You tell him you love him, and he says the same. Click. Or so you think. But he forgot to hang up. Just a tiny slip, the kind anyone could make. The line stays open, and suddenly, you're not on the call anymore. You're a ghost, listening in. His voice drifts through the speaker, low and casual, like he's talking to your mom in the next room. You know that girl? She's become such a burden. Always calling, always needing something. I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending. My heart stops. Right there, in my cozy living room, with the tea going cold in my hand. Burden? Me? The daughter who spent years bending over backward for him. I freeze, my breath caught in my throat. Do I speak up, yell into the void, or do I just listen? That's the moment everything shattered. And trust me, what came next, it would change our lives forever. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to how we got here, before the words that cut deeper than any knife. You see, my name's Elena, and for as long as I can remember, family was everything. Growing up in a sleepy suburb outside Seattle, it was just me, Mom, and Dad. Mom was the dreamer, always sketching wild ideas for books she'd never write. Dad was the rock, steady job at the mill, hands calloused from fixing whatever broke around the house. They weren't perfect, but they loved hard. When I was 8, Mom got sick. Cancer, the quiet thief that sneaks in and steals your joy. Dad quit his job to care for her, and just like that, our world flipped upside down. I was the kid who stepped up without being asked. Skipping sleepovers to help with meals, lying about my grades so he wouldn't worry. Mom passed when I was 12, and after that, it was us against the world. Dad and me. I promised myself I'd make him proud, be the daughter who fixed what was broken just like he did for us. High school flew by in a blur of part-time jobs and straight A's. College? I clawed my way through on scholarships and waitressing gigs, all while wiring money home when Dad's savings dipped low. By 25, I'd done it. Landed a marketing job in the city, climbed the ladder to senior manager. And that house? Oh, that $980,000 gem overlooking Puget Sound? It wasn't just a home, it was my victory lap. I bought it cash, no loans, after a brutal year of overtime, white picket fence, floor-to-ceiling windows catching the sunset like fire on water. I invited Dad and his new wife, Aunt Clara, no blood relation, but she'd been around since I was 15, over for the housewarming. He walked in, eyes wide, clapping me on the back. Look at you, kiddo, making it big. His pride? It fueled me, or so I thought. But life has a way of whispering doubts when you're not looking. Lately, Dad's calls felt off, shorter, like he was rushing to get off the line. Everything's fine here, he'd say, but I'd hear the strain. Clara's health wasn't great, diabetes creeping in, bills stacking up. I'd offer help casually, send me the numbers, Dad, I can cover it. And he would, every time. Groceries, meds, even a new roof when leaks turned their spare room into a swamp. It wasn't charity, it was family, right? That's what made that forgotten call hit like a freight train. I sat there, phone pressed to my ear as his words hung in the air. She's a burden, Clara. All that money she throws around, it's like she's buying our silence. But what happens when she realizes we're just holding her back? Clara's voice, soft and agreeing. Maybe it's time we stand on our own, Hank. For all our sakes. I ended the call, gently, like closing a door on a nightmare. Tears? They came later. That night I paced my beautiful empty house, replaying it all. Burden. The word echoed, twisting every memory. The birthdays I'd flown home for. The down payment I'd gifted them on their modest bungalow. The endless I love yous that now felt like lies. But I didn't scream. Didn't call back. No, I stayed quiet. Because in that silence, a plan was born. One that would expose the truth, deliver justice, and maybe, just maybe, set us all free. As the sun dipped below the sound that night, casting long shadows across my floors, I made a decision. This wasn't about anger anymore. It was about reclaiming what was mine, my peace, my worth. And the first step, something drastic, something that would shake the foundations we'd built on sand. But hold on, before the storm hits, let me tell you about the cracks that were already forming, the little betrayals that led to the big one. Family trees aren't always straight and strong. They twist, they tangle, and sometimes they choke the life out of you. Mine started simple enough, back in that rainy corner of Washington where the evergreens whisper secrets to the wind. Dad, Hank to his buddies but always Papa to me, was the hero of my childhood stories. Tall, with laugh lines etched deep from years of telling bad jokes at barbecues, he'd hoist me on his shoulders for 4th of July parades, promising the world tasted sweeter from up high. After Mom left us, though, the stories changed. He buried his grief in work, then in Clara. She swept in like a soft breeze, baking pies that filled the house with cinnamon warmth, smoothing the edges of our jagged days. I was grateful, truly. At 15, with hormones raging and homework piling up, having her around meant Dad smiled again. They married when I was 17, a quiet ceremony in the backyard. I was the maid of honor, beaming in a thrift store dress that scratched like crazy. "You're family now, Lena," Clara said, hugging me tight. And I believed her. College was my escape hatch. I drove 3 hours to Pullman every weekend to check on them, lugging care packages like some pint-sized Santa. Dad's mill shut down when I was a sophomore, economy tanking, jobs vanishing like smoke. He took odd gigs, handyman work, driving for rideshares. Clara waitressed at the diner downtown. I'd hear the worry in their voices during late-night calls. "We're scraping by, kiddo," Dad would say, voice gravelly from exhaustion. So I started small, $200 here for gas, $500 there for the electric bill. By graduation, it was routine. My first paycheck, half went straight to their account. Fast forward to the city grind. Marketing wasn't glamorous. Endless pitches, clients who ghosted like bad dates, but it paid. Big. I rented a shoebox apartment first, then upgraded to a loft with a view that made my chest ache with possibility. And Dad? He cheered every milestone. "That's my girl," he'd say, voice thick with what I thought was pride. When I hit 6 figures, I bought that house, the $980,000 dream on the hill. Closing day, I FaceTimed them from the driveway, keys jingling like victory bells. "Come see it soon," I begged. They did, 2 months later. Clara gasped at the kitchen island big enough for a feast. "Dad?" He wandered the halls quiet-like, fingers trailing the walls. "Fancy," he muttered. I chalked it up to envy, healthy envy, the kind that inspires. But looking back, those were the first roots cracking. Subtle things, like weeds sneaking through pavement. Dad started hinting about retirement. "The body's not what it used to be, Elena. Back's acting up." I'd nod, suggest PT, maybe slip extra cash his way. Clara's diabetes flared, insulin pricey as gold. Just this once, she'd text, and I'd Venmo it over, no questions. Then came the investments. Dad had this buddy Lou with a sure thing in real estate flips. "Low risk, high reward," he said on a call one spring evening. I crunched the numbers, my numbers, the ones I'd bled for, and wired $50,000. For the family, I told myself. The flip flopped. Hard. Lou vanished, and Dad's apologies came in waves. "Won't happen again, promise." It did, though. Smaller schemes, a crowdfunding scam for green energy, a pyramid thing disguised as a book club. Each time, I'd bail them out, smile through the sting. "We're in this together," I'd say, echoing Mom's old line. But the calls grew strained. Dad's voice, once booming, turned clipped. "You don't get it, Elena. Life here's not your shiny city world." I'd bite my tongue, remind myself. He's hurting. They're family. Burdens? No, we carry each other. Or so I believed. Until that summer, 3 months before the call, Clara's doc upped her meds, another $2,000 out of pocket. I covered it, then got a thank you card in the mail, Hallmark stock signed in her loopy script. "You're a lifesaver," Dad called that night, voice oddly formal. "Appreciate the help, but maybe ease up? Feels like charity." My stomach twisted. Charity. This was love. "Just want to help," I whispered. Silence stretched, then yeah. Sure. Click. "No, I love you. No, good night." I shook it off. Stress, I figured. Work was ramping up, my boss eyeing me for a promotion, but doubts lingered, like fog off the sound. I'd stare at my reflection in those massive windows, wondering if I was the problem. Too successful? Too giving? Too much? Little did I know, those questions were just the prelude. The real storm was brewing back home, in whispers I couldn't hear. Whispers that would label me the villain in my own story. And then, that Tuesday, the forgotten hang-up, the words that peeled back the facade. Burden. It wasn't just a slip, it was a confession, one that forced me to see the truth. I'd been propping up a house of cards, and they resented the weight. But in the wreckage, clarity. For the first time, I saw a path out, not through yelling or tears, but through quiet strength. A plan that started with the one thing they never expected, letting go. As I lay awake that night, the waves crashing below my hill like a distant roar, I whispered to the dark, "No more the sale sign?" It went up in my mind before dawn. But selling the house, that was just the spark. The fire? It would consume everything we'd built. And Dad? He had no idea the daughter he called a burden was about to become his reckoning. Ever notice how the people closest to you can hide entire worlds behind a smile? I did, but too late. After that call, I didn't sleep. Dawn crept in, painting my bedroom in grays and golds, but my mind raced circles around what I'd heard. Burden. The word lodged in my chest like a stone, heavy and unyielding. I replayed Dad's voice, casual, almost relieved, like he'd been holding it in for years. Clara's murmur of agreement? That cut deepest. She'd been my confidant, the one who'd braid my hair during Dad's long shifts. How long had they felt this way? I didn't confront them. Not yet. Instead, I did what I always did, buried it under work. Emails flew, meetings blurred into one another. But every ping of my phone sent my heart skittering, expecting his voice, dreading the normalcy. 2 days later it came. A text, "Hey kiddo, missed ya on the call. All good?" My thumbs hovered, rage bubbling. "All good?" I typed back, "Yeah, Dad. Busy." "Love you." "Liar," my brain screamed. But silence was my shield now. I needed time, to dig, to understand why. That's when the digging started, subtle at first, like scratching an itch you can't ignore. I logged into my bank app, scrolling transaction history. There it was, a trail of transfers, $10,000 here, $5,000 there, over 2 years, $87,000 total. Not chump change, but for me, manageable. For them, a lifeline, or so I'd thought. Then emails, old ones from Dad, buried in my inbox. "Lou's got another deal. Trust me this time." Attached spreadsheets, rosy projections that never panned out. I'd forwarded funds without blinking because family doesn't track IOUs. But now, I tracked. Called my accountant, voice steady as steel. Pull statements, everything tied to them. She hesitated. "Elena, this is personal," but I pushed. "Just facts, Sarah, please." The report landed that Friday, not just loans, but patterns. Dad's side hustles weren't innocent. One investment? A Ponzi-like scheme targeting retirees, his buddies from the mill. He'd pulled me in as the silent partner, using my name for credibility. My clean credit, my rising star status. To help the community, he'd said. Community. Right. Worse, Clara's meds. Those bills I'd paid? Inflated. Her doc's office confirmed it, quotes $800 less than what hit my account. The difference? Funneled to a joint savings app in their names. Vacations they never mentioned. A cruise to Mexico. Photos popping up on Facebook. Beaming on a deck, cocktails in hand. "Living our best life," the caption read. My stomach churned. While I skipped lunches to scrape by in the city, they toasted to my generosity. I paced my kitchen that night, the marble cold under my feet. Anger, Sure, hot and fierce. But underneath, a deep, aching sadness. This wasn't some stranger's betrayal. It was Dad, the man who'd taught me to ride a bike on wobbly training wheels. The one who'd held me through Mom's chemo nights, whispering, "We're tougher than this." How had we drifted so far? Was I blind, or had they changed? The next week blurred into a haze. Work suffered. I snapped at a junior during a brainstorm, stared blankly at slides. Friends noticed. "You okay, El?" My bestie Mia asked over coffee. I shrugged, family stuff, and changed the subject. But inside, a storm. Questions clawed. Why resent me for helping? Was success a sin in their eyes? That house, my pride and joy, it mocked me now. Empty rooms echoing with what-ifs. I'd poured my soul into it. Custom cabinets from a carpenter Dad recommended. Landscaping inspired by his garden tales. Now, it felt like a chain. Then, another slip. A voicemail from Clara, voice syrupy. "Sweetie, your dad's been under the weather. Cough's not letting up. Could you spot us for a doc visit?" I deleted it, hands shaking. Under the weather. Like I was an ATM, not a daughter. That night, alone with the sound's endless murmur, I cried. For the girl I'd been, the family I'd lost. But tears dry, and in their place, resolve. No more blind faith. I'd test the waters, see how deep the resentment ran. So I called Dad. Sunday afternoon, his time. "Hey, Papa. Thinking of you," warm like nothing happened. He perked up. "Elena, what's new in the big leagues?" We chatted weather, work. Then, casual, that house. "Ever think of selling? Market's hot." My breath hitched. "Selling?" It was my anchor. "Why? You need something?" Long pause. "Nah, just, you work so hard. Maybe simplify." Clara and I were talking. Life's too short for all that upkeep. Simplify. There it was, veiled but sharp. My success, their envy. I ended the call light, "Love you," and hung up for real this time. But his words, they lit the fuse. Selling the house wasn't his idea. It was mine now. Not to simplify, but to sever. To show them what a burden could really do when pushed. The realtor's number burned in my phone. One call and the sign would go up. But this wasn't rash, it was calculated. I'd sell, pocket the windfall, and watch their world tilt. No yelling, no scenes, just the quiet power of walking away. As the first autumn leaves skittered across my lawn, I felt it, the shift. From daughter to architect of justice. But oh, the road ahead. It twisted through more lies, more pain. Lies that would make that burden label seem like child's play. And when the truth spilled out, no one, not Dad, not Clara, would see it coming. Betrayal doesn't always roar in like a lion. It creeps, like fog rolling off the water, until you're lost in it. For me, that fog thickened over the next month, turning every interaction into a minefield. I kept up the act, texts with heart emojis. Quick calls laced with "How are you?" But inside, I was unraveling, thread by thread. Each thanks for the help, kiddo felt like salt in a wound. And the house, it loomed larger, a symbol of everything I'd built, and everything they seemed to begrudge. It started small, post-call. Dad's cough turned into pneumonia scares, per Clara's updates. Bills trickled in, or co-pays. Antibiotics. I paid them, but now with eyes wide open. One invoice caught my eye. $1,200 for specialist consult. I called the clinic. That was for a routine check, the nurse said. Routine. The extra $400? Pocketed, I guessed. My trust, once ironclad, crumbled like dry earth. I stopped the auto transfers, started manual, delaying just enough to see reactions. They noticed. Fast. A week in, Dad's call, voice edged with something new. "Elena, the pharmacy's hounding us. What's the holdup?" I feigned busyness. Swamped, Dad. Sending tomorrow. Tomorrow became the next day, then Friday for sure. His tone sharpened. "We count on you, you know. Can't just drop off." Drop off? Like I was a service, not family. "I know," I said softly. Working on it. Hung up, heart pounding. The guilt? It twisted, but anger won. They turned love into leverage. Then came Thanksgiving. Tradition, me flying home, turkey and all. This year, I begged off. Big project deadline. Truth? half. But mostly, I couldn't face the facade. Their texts poured in, miss you already. Table feels empty. Clara's, your dad's down. Coughs back. Guilt nod, so I wired $1,000 for the feast. Silence after. Then, a Facebook post, them at a fancy restaurant, toasting with wine glasses. Grateful for new beginnings, without me. That post, it was the crack that widened to a chasm. I scrolled their profiles, carefully incognito, seeing the life I'd funded but never joined. Weekend getaways to the coast, gifted by anonymous friends, me, Dad's new truck, gleaming in driveways, Clara's jewelry, sparkling in selfies. And buried deeper? Comments from Lou, that investment pal. Heard about your windfall, Hank. Congrats. Windfall? I dug a GoFundMe Hank's recovery fund. $15,000 raised for his medical battle. Donors, old mill folks. Description, hardworking dad fighting illness, needs support. Photos, dad looking frail, Clara tearful. I called the next morning, voice honeyed. Saw the fundraiser. How's the cough? Dad chuckled. Better now, thanks to good people. Good people, not his daughter bleeding dry. Proud of you, I lied. That night, alone in my study, the dam broke. Sobs racked me, echoing off the vaulted ceilings. Why, Papa? Why paint me as the outsider, when I'd given everything? The house, once sanctuary, now prison. Walls closing in with memories of his praise, now poisoned. But in the depths of that pain, a spark. Revenge wasn't destruction, it was revelation. I'd sell the house, not quietly but strategically, list it high, stage it perfect, draw eyes. And in the process, leak the truth, subtly. To the donors, the neighbors, the world they'd curated. Let them see the man behind the mask, the one who called his own blood a burden. The realtor meeting was Monday. Lisa, sharp-eyed and no-nonsense, this place? It'll fly. $980,000 asking. Expect offers day one. I nodded, signing papers with steady hands. Make it public. Open houses, social buzz. She raised a brow, aggressive for a first-timer. Aggressive. Yes. As the sign went up, literal and figurative, I felt power surge. No more victim. This was my move. But the breaking point? It hit midweek. Another call, Dad's voice cracking. Elena, Clara's sugars crashed. Hospital. We need you. Need. The word that had hooked me for years. I paused, breath shallow. On my way, I said. But as I packed, something shifted. This time I'd go, not as savior, but as witness. To the lies, the games. The flight to Seattle was turbulent, mirroring my soul. Landing, rental car humming toward their bungalow, I steeled myself. What I'd find. It would seal the betrayal, ignite the plan. Pulling into their drive, lights flickering in the dusk, I knocked. Door opened, Clara, pale but composed. Oh, Elena. Hug tight, too tight. Dad from the couch, there's my girl. Weak smile, cough rattling. We talked hours, meds, fears, futures. I played along, fetching water, fluffing pillows. But eyes open, I saw. The new flat screen, funded by my gifts. Fridge stocked with organics, pricey, unmentioned. And in the guest room? Boxes labeled for Elena's visit, but peeking, vacation brochures, not welcome mats. Midnight, they slept. I slipped to the office, Dad's man cave, desk cluttered. Drawers yielded truths, bank stubs, showing my transfers rerouted to personal. A letter to Lou, she suspects nothing. Keep the faith, suspects. Me, the burden. Tears hot, I snapped photos, evidence, quiet and damning. Dawn broke as I drove away, their thank you echoing. Back in the city, house sign gleaming under sun, I knew, the climax brewed. Selling wasn't enough, exposure was justice. I'd unravel their web, thread by thread. But first, the offers would roll in, and with them, the calls home. Calls that would test my silence, push me to the edge. And when I broke it, the fallout would be seismic. Power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the hush before the storm, the pen scratching paper in a room full of ghosts. As the for sale sign sprouted in my front yard like a bold declaration, I felt that power for the first time. No fanfare, no dramatic exit. Just me, Elena, 32 and done playing pawn. The house, my $980,000 fortress, was now a weapon. And the auction? It would be silent, calculated, drawing them in without a whisper of why. Lisa wasted no time. Listings hit Zillow, Redfin, glossy photos of sunset views, chef's kitchen gleaming. Prime Puget Sound gem, the copy read. Motivated seller. Motivated. Understatement of the century. Open house day one. Cars lined the street, whispers buzzing like bees. I hovered in the background, cookie tray in hand, hostess with a hidden agenda. Buyers oohed over the master suite, awed at the deck. What's the story? One couple asked, eyes curious. I smiled, just time for a change. Change. Oh yes. Offers trickled, then flooded. $920,000, $950, $975. I countered high, Lisa grinning. You're playing hardball? Hardball? This was chess. Each bid fueled me, a reminder. This was mine. Earned. Not a burden's bribe. Nights I'd review them by firelight, the sound whispering approval. But the real game? Back home. Dad's calls ramped up, innocent at first. Heard about the house? Big news. Voice probing, like fishing for bait. Yeah, I'd say light. Downsizing. Laughter from him, about time. That place swallowed you whole. Swallowed. As if my ambition was a flaw. Clara chimed in on speaker. We'll help pack. Road trip? Help. Their version, sifting for scraps. I demurred, managing fine, and changed subjects. But inside, the plan solidified. Step 1, sell. Step 2, redirect. No more funds flowing east. Instead, I'd seed doubts, anonymous tips to those GoFundMe donors. Check the sailor's logs. I'd hint in emails from a burner account. Subtle erosion. Mid-auction, the perfect buyer emerged. Tech couple from San Francisco. Cash offer at asking. We see the vision, the wife said, touring the garden. Vision, ironic. They'd build dreams on my ruins. Closing loomed, 30 days. I prepped, boxes stacked, walls stripped of photos. Each memento? A pang. Dad's fishing pick, Mom's sketch. But I packed them away, heart hardening. This wasn't loss, it was liberation. The calls home turned desperate. Dad's cough morphed to tests needed. Oncology consult, $3,000. Elena, please, it's scary. Guilt clawed, but I held consult your insurance. I'm tapped with the move. Tapped. Lie, but necessary. His silence? Deafening. Then Clara, tearful voicemail, he's crumbling. We thought, with the house money, there it was. The truth slipping, they banked on my sale, eyed the proceeds like a jackpot. I didn't respond. Instead, I acted. That burner email went out to 5 top GoFundMe backers, mill old-timers. Hank's Fund. Did you know transfers went to cruises? Not care? Attached, redacted bank pics, time-stamped. No names, no traces, just seeds. Replies trickled. What? Calling him now, the web quivered. Closing day dawned crisp, November chill biting. I signed at the title company, pen steady. $980,000 wired, mine. No loans, no liens. Freedom tasted like salt air. I drove away, rear view shrinking the house to a speck. Tears? Yes, but cleansing. Now the redirect, I funneled half into investments, my future, not theirs. The rest? A trust, for me, ironclad. Dad's next call? Fury veiled as concern. Sold? Without telling us? What are you playing at? Playing. As if life was their game. Needed to, Dad. Fresh start. Pause. Heavy. And us? The help? I breathed deep. Figure it out. Like I did. Click. Silence from them after. Blessed. Terrifying. But the seeds sprouted. A week later, neighbors text, heard rumblings about Hank. Donors pulling back. Justice. Quiet and creeping. Clara's frantic message. People talking nonsense. Help us clear it. Clear it? No. I'd sold the house now. I'd sell the truth. Slow, so they felt every unravel. As winter winds howled off the sound, I rented a sleek condo downtown. Views intact, baggage gone. Lighter, but not free. The climax loomed, a family summit, my terms. I'd invite them to the city, lay cards down. No screams, just facts, photos, the weight of years. Their world, built on my back, would teeter. And when it fell? Relief, raw and real. But oh, the faces I'd see, the shock, the pleas. That was the revenge I craved, not ruin, but reckoning. You know that moment when the mask slips, and you see the face beneath, not monstrous, but disappointingly human? That's where I stood post-sale, winds of change whipping around me. The $980,000 burned a hole in my accounts, but not with spender's itch, with purpose. No splurges, no revenge-fueled bonfires. Just quiet reallocations, therapy sessions to unpack the hurt, a financial advisor to fortify walls. And the threads? Oh, they unraveled beautifully, one tug at a time. First, the silence. It stretched 2 weeks, unheard of. Dad's voicemails piled, "Call us, Elena, this isn't you." Clara's texts, pleading emojis, then accusations. Ignoring family? After all we've done? Done? The irony burned. I archived, didn't engage. Let the void echo their words back. Then the backlash hit them. GoFundMe donors withdrew. $8,000 clawed back. Mill buddies cornered Dad at the VFW. "Hank, what's this about cruises on my dime?" His excuses? Feeble. Misunderstanding. Elena's wires got crossed. Me. Always me, the scapegoat. But now I had armor. I forwarded the frenzy to my burner. More tips, this time to local paper's tips line. Retiree scam ring? Anonymous but juicy. A reporter nibbled. Any details? I fed crumbs, dates, amounts. Lou's name. No direct hits, but pressure mounted. Dad's truck? Repoed. Payment skipped. Clara's jewelry? Pawned, whispers said. Christmas loomed, a ghost of Thanksgiving's past. Their invite came tentative. Come home. Clear the air. Home. The words stung. I countered. City. My new place. January 5th. Neutral ground. They agreed, voices tight. Prep consumed me. Timeline printed, photos collated. Every transfer, every lie. Not for court, but for clarity. I'd speak my piece, then walk. Justice and truth, not traps. The visit day. Gray skies, rain pattering my condo windows like nervous fingers. I buzzed them up, Dad shuffling, Clara clutching a bakery box. Peace offering, she smiled. Frail, but eyes sharp. We sat, leather couches stiff between us. Coffee steamed, small talk died fast. The house, Dad started. Why so sudden? I met his gaze, needed space. From expectations, the word hung. Clara fidgeted. We've always appreciated. I cut in, soft, appreciated. Like labeling me a burden? Their faces, Dad's blanch, Clara's gasp. What? No. Overheard, I said. Forgotten hang up. Every word. Silence crashed, thick as fog. Dad stammered, out of context. Stress talking, stress. Mine, apparently. I laid it out then. Calm, chronological. The transfers, $87,000, Dad. Traced. His flush deepened. The schemes, Lou? Ponzi vibes, denial, bad luck. The fund donors feel used. Clara teared up. We were desperate. Desperate for cruises, apparently. Photos flashed, bank reroutes, vacation snaps. Their world cracked, Dad's shoulders slumped, Clara's hands twisted. We didn't mean, but they did. The burden hung, confessed. Hours blurred, please, apologies tumbling. Forgive us. Family sticks, stick? Like glue trapping flies. I listened, heart aching but firm, no more help. Stand alone. They left shattered, hugs hollow, promises empty. Rain swallowed their car. Alone I sank to the floor, sobs coming. Victory? Pyrrhic, but necessary. Threads kept pulling post-meeting. Paper ran a blurb, local fundraiser under scrutiny. Donors sued, small claims but stinging. Dad's hustles dried. He took a warehouse gig, back screaming. Clara's health? Managed on basics, no extras. My phone stayed quiet, then trickled, proud of you from Mia. Therapy unpacked the grief. You gave love, Elena. Their flaw, not yours. As spring teased the sound with green, I rebuilt. New job lead. Weekends hiking alone. Lighter. But the climax? It crested unexpectedly. A letter from Dad, handwritten. You were right. We leaned too hard. Sorry doesn't fix, but it's start. Maybe. I filed it away, not replied. Revenge delivered, not in flames, but fade out. Their empire of half-truths dismantled. Yet peace, elusive. Questions lingered. Could bridges mend? Or was the break clean? The answer came sooner than I thought, in a call that bridged hurt with hope. But before that, one last twist, an echo of betrayal that tested my resolve to the core. Fallout isn't tidy. It's debris scattered, sharp edges catching light you didn't expect. After the summit, my condo felt vast, echoes of their pleas bouncing off minimalist walls. I'd won, hadn't I? House sold, truths aired, chains snapped, but victory tasted bittersweet, like coffee gone cold. Nights I'd wake to phantom calls, Dad's voice murmuring burden, Clara's tears. Therapy helped. Boundaries aren't walls, Elena. They're doors you control. Wise words, but walking through? Harder. The echoes started subtle. Neighborhood chatter reached me via Mia's network. Old family friends texting, heard about Hank. Rough. Understatement. Dad's VFW card revoked. Untrustworthy, postmaster grumbled in a viral thread. Lou? Vanished again, but warrants whispered for fraud. Clara's diner shifts doubled, her texts to me. Sporadic. Miss our girl. Miss. As if absence fixed the fracture. I dove into work, promotion, landed, team leads buzzing. New routines, yoga at dawn, brunches with friends untainted by family fog. The $980,000, seated wisely, stocks up, a cabin fund for solo escapes. Freedom's price? Loneliness, creeping. Holidays solo, New Year's toast to mirrors, Valentine's with Netflix. You're enough, I'd affirm. But doubt snagged. Had I overplayed? Destroyed for justice? Then, the big echo, Dad's health crash. April call from Clara, voice breaking, pneumonia real this time. ICU. He asks for you. Asks. The word pulled guilt's old hook. I flew, not savior, but daughter still. Hospital sterile, beep steady. Dad, tube snaking, eyes sunken. Elena. Weak, but there. We sat. Hours of beeps and breaths. Sorry, he rasped. Saw it all wrong. You weren't burden, you carried us. Carried. Past tense. Tears mine, his. Clara outside, head bowed. We failed you. No grand forgiveness, just presence. I stayed a week, broth runs, story readings from Mom's old books. Whispers of past, mill days, Mom's laugh. Cracks mended? Not fully, but softened. Discharge day, Dad gripped my hand, proud, kiddo. Always was. Lie or truth. Time's judge. Back home, echoes faded. Donors settled, small refunds, lessons learned. Dad's gigs steadied, honest work, community garden volunteer. Clara baked again, not for show but sharing. My invites? Tentative accepted. Dinners in the city, talks skirting scars. How's the cabin fund? He'd ask. Growing, I'd smile. No money talk, just connection, rebuilt slow. But revenge's shadow lingered. A final twist, loose surfaced, plea deal naming Dad as unwitting. Unwitting. I laughed, bitter, then free. Testified? No. Let law handle. My role? Closed. As summer bloomed, sound sparkling, I hiked, leg strong, heart lighter. The house? New owner's lights twinkled from afar. Symbol, past sold, future owned. Yet the fall's lesson echoed loudest, betrayal breaks, but silence rebuilds. I'd stayed quiet once, overheard, seething. Now? Voice steady, choosing words like steps on solid ground. Dad's next call, love you, Elena. No strings. Progress. The climax? Not confrontation's roar, but quiet dawn, me, coffee in hand, watching waves. Relief washed, deep deserved. Justice served, not savage. But wait, the ripples end? One last surprise, a gift from ashes that sealed the circle. Reckoning isn't a thunderclap. It's the slow lift of dawn, shadows retreating inch by inch. By midsummer, my world had reshaped. Condo a haven, career cresting, family, tentative allies. The $980,000? Transformed. Half in growth funds, quarter to a scholarship in Mom's name for single-parent kids. The rest? That cabin, nestled in cascades, logs and lake, solitude's embrace. First visit, air pine sharp, water lapping peace. I sat on the porch, journal open, sold the house. Bought myself back. Dad's recovery steadied. PT twice weekly, cough a memory. Calls regular, light, weather swaps, recipe shares. No asks. Clara's texts. Photos of garden blooms. Thought of you. Thought. A start. But trust? Earned drop by drop. We planned a trip, neutral, the coast. Drive down 101, stops at clam shacks, talks turning deep. Remember when? Stories, laughter cracking ice. The real dawn? Labor Day. Invite to their bungalow, first since the summit. I arrived dusk, pie in hand, apple, mom's recipe. Table set simple, pot roast steaming, candles flickering. Dad rose, hug lingering, glad you're here. Clara's eyes soft, searching. Dinner flowed, work tales, cabin dreams. Then Dad cleared throat. Elena, we've changed things, changed. He slid a folder, statements clean. Paid back what we could. $20,000 from savings, gigs. More coming. Paid back. Not full, but gesture. My throat tightened. It's enough. Lies aired again. His schemes, my enabling. I resented your strength, he admitted. Made me feel small. Small. The burden flipped. His, not mine. Clara nodded. We leaned wrong. Sorry's just words, actions now, actions. Vows to community service, financial classes. I listened, walls thinning. Night deepened, stars pricking sky. Porch sit, swings creaking, fireflies dancing. Dad's hand on mine. You're no burden. You're our light. Light. Tears welled. Mine, shared. No gushy end, just quiet mend. Drive home dawn lit, heartful. Reckoning dawned, forgiveness not forget, but forward. Work buzzed. Promotion to director, team toasts. Friends celebrated, you glow, glow. Yes. Cabin weekends, books, hikes, solitude sweet. Family visits dotted calendar. Thanksgiving mine, hosted neutral. Laughter real, strings untangled. But the circle seal? Fall letter from Dad, sold the truck, too flashy. Bought seeds instead. Garden for three, us. Enclosed mom's sketch framed. Your legacy, legacy. I hung it central. Reminder, roots regrow stronger. As leaves turned, sound golden, I reflected. The forgotten call? Catalyst. Betrayal's blade dulled by time, revenge's fire banked to warmth. Justice, served in sales and silences, reckonings and returns. I'd sold a house but gained a self, unburdened, unbroken. Yet life's script twists. One final hook, a call, voice new. Elena, it's Lou. The ghost returned, plea in tone. But that's another story. For now, dawn holds. Reflection comes in waves, not crashing, but rolling steady, smoothing sharp stones to sand. A year post-sale, I stood on my old hill, public path now, watching new owners' lights dance. The $980,000 house? Theirs, alive with barbecues, kids' laughter drifting. No envy, just nod, I'd pass the torch. My flame? Steady in the city, flickering toward horizons. Family ebbed, flowed. Monthly dinners, Dad's jokes landing softer, Clara's pies sweeter. No deep dives, just being. He shared garden woes, tomatoes stubborn. I laughed, advised. Paid back trickles continued. $500 here, note attached, progress. I banked it, not tallied. Trust rebuilt, brick by brick, mortar forgiveness. Career-crested director role, travels to conferences, voices amplifying mine. Inspiring, colleagues said, inspiring. From burden to beacon. Mia's wedding I toasted, single but whole. To fresh starts glasses clinked. Starts, plural. Cabin became sanctuary, weekends with journals filling pages. Entries evolved, rage to release, questions to quiet. Therapy closed, you've authored your piece. Authored. Yes, like this tale. The Lou call? Handled clean, referred to authorities. No hooks. Ghosts banished. Dad's health? Annual check clear. To many more we cheered birthdays. Waves carried lessons, betrayal blinds, but sight returns. Silence strategized, not surrendered. Revenge? Best cold, facts over fury. I'd sold more than bricks, illusions enabling. Gained, self-worth unshakable. Now evenings on my balcony, sound singing, I whisper thanks to mom's memory, dad's growth, my grit. Life's not scripted tidy, it's improv, heart-led. And mine? Open, ready for next act. But pause here, friend, your waves? What burdens do you carry? Release them. Sell the house if you must. Stay quiet, then speak true. Justice waits in your dawn. And so the tide turns, not erasing scars, but honoring them. My story? One thread in life's vast weave. From overheard whispers to sold signs, betrayal's sting to justice's balm. Dad forgot to hang up, but I remembered to hang on, to self, to growth. The moral? Simple, spoken from scars, love doesn't ledger, it lifts. When burdened, don't break, build boundaries, betrayal blindsides, but revenge? Let it be revelation, not ruin. Stay quiet long enough to hear your worth, then act with grace that exposes truth. You're not a burden, you're a force. Sell what chains, keep what frees. Family mends messy, but worth the weave. Reflect, release, rise. Your dawn awaits. If this story hit home, if it stirred that fire in you to reclaim your own peace, then hit that like button right now. Let me know it resonated. Drop a comment below. What's one burden you've let go of, or one quiet revenge that set you free? Share your tale. We're all in this weave together. And if you're hungry for more stories of betrayal turned triumph, of hearts mended through hard truths, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. Join this channel, where every video is a wave of wisdom, a spark for your own reckoning. We've got fresh uploads every week. Next one's brewing, and you won't want to miss how one sister's silence exposed a lifetime of lies. Until then, carry your light fierce and free. Fade out.